Slaptail Squad, assemble.
Slaptail Nation. I'm going to say welcome, Slaptail Nation, once again, because last time when I started it clipped it right in the middle of welcome, so I'm just making sure I got it. I am the Beaveman. This is the Slaptail Squad, and it's a beautiful evening here in Michigan, and we're doing a late night podcast. Of course, you guys will be listening to it during the day, I assume. And if you're listening to this, you are a member of Slaptail Nation and a member of my army, are you not? And if you want to, you can be part of the Ronz's T-Corps.
T-Corps? What's T-Corps?
You know, people who walk around and give us tea. Make tea, etc. And my number one is with me also, the Ronz.
A.
Not very enthusiastic, A.
No, it's very enthusiastic.
The stunning and stoic Tremonde.
The one and the only.
One of the only, as far as we know. Actually, we've heard of at least two. And the beautiful Swan is here with me also.
Hello.
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 Hello. What you been up to there, Ronz? It looks like you have less hair on your head.
I do. I got a haircut today, so thank you. So, but more though, a big shout out to Seymour Butts, whoever that guy is, because you texted me like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "No," but it proves someone listens to our podcast. Right, so whoever you are, Seymour Butts, please keep up the comments, because the Beaveman said, "Is this the Ronz?" And I'm like, "No, it's not me." But I like that. It's like, and I love the comment he left on the SoundCloud. That's great.
So are you going to say the comment then, since you're infatuated with said comment?
Infatuated? Yeah, I guess so. I'll punch it up here in a second.
One would have thought he was prepared, but he's not prepared, as usual.
I am prepared.
Well, then we'll go to a sound check while we wait for the Ronz, who's supposedly really good with technology, to pull up that comment very quickly.
He doesn't have it memorized. So good.
It was a great comment.
Same person.
I actually assumed it was not the Ronz because it was well written, unlike the Ronz's posts. Hey, Ronz, have you thought about maybe sticking with just one font instead of 15 different fonts when you post on Facebook or anywhere like that for our podcast?
So, once again, it's about marketing, and it shows me that you're reading my reading what I posted.
No, it's annoying. What do you think about that?
He likes to make grammatical errors just so you can correct them.
Well, it's not grammatical errors. It's
He's like,
font.
grammatical errors. Marketing, folks. Poor sentence structure. It's marketing. You remember that, don't you? No, I don't remember what you said. I just remember it was wrong.
Well, how do you know it was wrong if you didn't read it? Marketing. That's all there is to it. Listen, if everybody remembered everything, it would be boring. It really would. I was going somewhere with that, but I kind of flighted down that.
But he didn't remember.
Well, it goes back to when you watch a commercial.
Are you looking up that quote? Are you looking?
Well, I've got the first one, and it was by the same guy, Seymour Butts.
Why do you assume it's a guy?
I don't know, right? But it was the episode that says Ron thinks everyone is a scientist, and he goes, "Man, that episode was weird." And I'm like, okay. I thought that was pretty cool.
You thought his comment was cool because he said, "Man, that episode was weird."
Well, he commented on listening to the podcast.
Well, that's marketing, isn't it?
It is.
As far as I know, everything is marketing.
It is. So here is the second comment that is he wrote, and it says, assuming it's a she or a he, doesn't matter. I feel like if the Beaveman was in the same room as the Ronz, the Beaveman would have punched the Ronz in the face. Although we all know that would have not gone well for the Beaveman because the Ron is a martial artist. And
he's a black belt, which is
I am a martial artist. And I have to think.
Now that we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish that thought, though, Tremonde. You were saying that the Ronz is a black belt and what?
Which is the same as being a black man.
Oh, jeez. We're just going to jump off the deep end and head there.
Because
That's
you know,
great.
You just can't. You just don't know the struggles that he went through for that.
Well, the Swans does. She was in the same class I was, and she actually helped me get my black belt. So I appreciate that.
And I'm not a black man.
Well, in this day and age, you can identify as whatever you want to be.
If you're a black man, let me just ask this question, Ronz.
Oh yeah, go to the whitest person here.
If you're a black man, is
That's
it
racist.
I know. Why is he asking that? You tell
Is your
him.
goal to become a white belt?
What is a white belt but a belt?
What is a black belt?
But a belt.
So now you're saying that that's not as good. You're like, well, fuck a white belt. It's just a belt.
Yeah, it is. And there are some styles that don't have belt styles, but I digress.
Are you? Do you know how that? Are you sure that's how that's used? You're like, what? I think.
Well, I'm moving on because usually when I go on about martial arts, you give me about 20 seconds before you yell boring into the mic. And
boring.
Yeah, there we go.
It's very boring. It's very boring.
And I can't
Boring.
use I invented the color whatever because the Swans is sitting there and she's gonna go, that's mine.
Well, I figure you're going to fuck shit up again, but as always, listeners, if you don't know this, I always have a little Post-it notepad right by the microphone and the computer while I'm doing this podcast with the Ronz because he usually fucks shit up. And what I do is I look at the
That's a lot of confidence you have in me.
That's a lot. So I look at the time, I write it down on my Post-it note, and I go back and edit it in whatever creative way I can, or I just remove it completely.
And I must say, you creatively added a chicken sound. That was great.
That was not a chicken.
For the last podcast?
That was a turkey.
Oh, well, what do I know?
Hunting. No hunting.
Chicken, turkey, whatever. It's poultry.
Before we get rolling on the podcast too much, I've been doing a little bit of shopping. I've decided that, you know how most of the time it's not necessary to have a bunch of material things because really what does it do for you in life?
Okay, so it's called a flashlight, not a flashlight. Remember that when you type it into your browser and buy one. All right, so look at Tremont. Look.
Did you say what?
A fleshlight. The thing you stick your penis into. That's what he's talking about.
Oh,
And
you're
apparently he knows all about it. He's got the website saved at his favorites or something.
I don't have the website uploaded.
I wish that. What is that podcast platform you're talking about that actually films you and you release it that way? Do they release it on YouTube or where do they release it?
You can. You film
Answer the question. What's the name of it?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I know it's.
Holy fuck!
I know that
you mentioned it last time. Anyway, I wish the listeners could see Tremonde's reactions to what you do because he mutes himself. Which is not fair to the rest of us. He mutes himself. I'd more like to hear his laughing. It is amusing to see him. However, he's not giving the benefit of him losing it on the other end whenever Ron says something.
You're talking about Twitch, the platform. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
You should know what I'm talking about. You're the one who brought it up last time.
I feel like Tremonde needs to unmute himself and then mute only when needed. Tremonde, you gotta unmute yourself. We need you.
So what I've learned is that when you record with the Ronz, you don't know when that moment's going to happen, and I do not want an entire podcast of me just laughing.
So we want
that. We want that. Okay. Black laughs matter.
Oh no!
Okay.
Did that just come out your nose?
What I'm gonna do now is the Ronz and I have talked about. Ronz likes to think. I guess he thinks everything is marketing.
That's marketing right there. Black laughs matter.
And he's always talking about. He's like, we gotta get T-shirts. And what I'm gonna have to do is I am gonna have a notebook of T-shirts that would be great that I can dedicate to the Ronz and say these are Ronz quotes. But this one's going up there. I gotta save them. Black laughs matter. That might have to be. Nobody better I better not see that anywhere. Nobody better fucking steal that.
Copyrighted.
Right now by the Slaptail Squad is owned by the Slaptail Nation. That's ours. even Ronz can't hear it because he's part of the Slaptail. Anything happens is owned by me. However, anytime they do anything wrong and it goes badly, it is on them and not on me.
True leadership.
Did you have to do a spit take Monday? Did you do a spit take?
Pardon?
Do a spit take on that? I thought it looked like you lost it there for a second.
I did. I'm so glad that I did not have a sip of this wine in my mouth at that time because I would have probably spit it all over the computer. That was funny.
So
See,
you
and that's
have
what I mean. Like,
wine.
you never know what's going to happen.
Well, that's why I also say that no one is allowed to steal the Ronz from my podcast.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I can see now my lovely wife is going to listen to that. She goes, I just can't believe you'd say something like that.
And that was all about something about shopping or buying stuff. I've come to a realization I used to like try to eliminate stuff and not buy shit all the time. But now because of this pandemic, I feel like what does it matter anymore? Trying to just focus always at being at home. Like, well, I'm going to start spending money on stuff around the home, even if it's frivolous. I was thinking about getting one of those outdoor screens, and then projecting movies on it to watch shit outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
Getting some lawn furniture, getting a hot tub. But mostly, we've also been frivolously spending on stupid shit. Well, not stupid shit, but... So here's my first shout out. And yes, this company gives me no money and does nothing for me, but I just got my a 4-pack of t-shirts today. And you can see this. Too bad you listeners can't see this, but my t-shirt, if you're a military person, you probably totally understand this, but this t-shirt says throat punch donor, and it has a big fist with blood splatter on it.
I like it.
Yeah, and that's made by Grunt Style. So Grunt Style, go ahead and look them up. They're on Facebook. I think they're on Instagram. I don't know. I don't understand Instagram very much. But you can find them on Facebook and, of course, online. Grunt Style t-shirts got the crossed rifles, which, for those of you out there who don't know what that is the symbol of the infantry. But I will caveat to that, though. If you're a civilian and you've never been in the military and you buy these shirts, you might get that throat punch that I plan on donating.
So
Okay.
only military.
Are each of the shirts a different design?
That's true.
Oh, I'm sure Grunt Style wants anybody to buy it, but I ran into a kid once. He was probably like, I don't know, 19 or 20, and he was wearing one of these shirts. And I said, oh, were you in the military? It's like, no. At that point in time, he almost became the recipient of the throat punch donor.
Well, it's sort of like those people that wear baseball caps with their favorite team on there, or the team logo. And you go up to them and you're like, oh, are you a big fan of that? They're like, no, I just like the way it looks. I'm like, dude, why are you wearing that? You know, if you're not a fan of that team.
Has that happened to you often? Has that really happened?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of football, so I don't wear any kind of football stuff. Or if I do, I wear something that my wife or my son support, right? Or the alma mater of my son.
I don't wear any. I don't do that either. Well, I will say this, though. I'm not. When I went to Boston, I bought a Boston Red Sox hat, even though I don't give a shit about the team. But I thought it looked cool, and I really wanted to see it on who is related to me in some way.
We'll let that one slide. We'll let that one fucking slide. But
because I'm a Beaveman, and this is my fucking podcast.
It is.
But no, it's about
How handy are you, Beaveman? How handy are you?
Well, I mean, it depends what you're talking about.
Well, have you ever heard what's called a guerrilla drive-in? A guerrilla drive-in.
A guerrilla drive-in?
Yeah.
Or a guerrilla driver?
A guerrilla drive-in.
No, I haven't.
Excuse me. So what this was is I stumbled across this years ago. Is someone actually runs a projector with a laptop out of their trunk, and they have two buckets with a white canvas stretched out to show a movie. And they turn a parking lot, an empty parking lot, into a drive-in, open to the public, right? And it's called a guerrilla drive-in. It shows up, sets up, people show up to watch it, whatever movie's going, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, it just shuts down and disappears. Right? It was like it was never there. And they were a big thing, the guy told me, out in California. So this guy started doing it in this area about 2 years ago or so. I forget, but he used like buckets and had some posts, and then
They actually sell screens that pop up or inflate.
Yeah.
And projectors.
But this was a guerrilla driving, which means it sets up, people show up to watch it, and then boom, overnight it's gone. Or once the movie's gone, it's gone.
But you could do the same thing with the stuff they sell instead of having buckets.
Well, I agree, but back in the time they didn't have that, or at least I don't think
2 years ago. You're like 2 years ago, they didn't have that.
It's a couple years ago. My memory's fading, but it was really cool.
It could have been 30 years ago.
Could have been 30 or 40 years ago.
It could have been that thing that I attended before that bachelor party where it was a bunch of guys in one room with an 8mm camera. But we all felt really comfortable together. Nothing weird.
Nothing weird.
Nothing weird.
But
I can't even remember if I gave a shout out to this company. I guess I did.
For Grunt style t-shirts, right?
Grunt style t-shirts. You also may not steal Black Lives Matter. That's ours. That is owned by the Slaptail Squad.
I see how that goes.
Unless it's not successful and people find it offensive, at which point it's really the fault of the Ronz.
So I'm going to go back to what Ronz was saying about people who pose and wear the shirts of their favorite team or not even their favorite team. But I hate when people wear the shirts of their favorite team and act like they're part of the team. Like, okay, you got your U of M t-shirt on and you didn't even go to fucking U of M, but you're wearing that t-shirt. And when they have a game, you're like, yeah, dude, our team won today. Who the fuck? You're not on the team. Why are you saying it's our team? I don't like that.
Well, that's why I don't wear a Sherman Lake Camp t-shirt, because I've never been to the camp. I support the camp, but I'll support it from a distance because I don't need some rogue motherfucker.
Please do, because if you don't have small children, there's really no reason for you to be around the Sherman Lake camp.
God, only you would go there. You have an issue. You have lots of issues.
I don't have an issue. I'm just helping you out, and I'm saying there's really.
No, I support.
I support them from a distance, as long as it's not court ordered. Again, that is good that you support them from a distance because you're not anywhere near.
I'm an alumni of one of the local camp areas, and I always thought that I always heard great things about Sherman Lake Camp. I thought it was great, but it was one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to wear your shirt. So that was it. That was it. I mean, I have tried. You know what? I am trying not to give you any type of fuel.
Because I'm sure the question is out there. Has someone offered you a Sherman Lake t-shirt to wear?
Would it piss off the Swans for me to wear it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, then I would wear it then, because I don't want to piss her off.
Oh my goodness.
Did that answer the question? Because I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I didn't hear a question.
Has someone offered you that t-shirt?
No, not at all.
You just felt the need to bring it up.
No, I thought I would just do that. No, I was just throwing it out there for giggles.
Shout out.
Shout out. Yo, shout out.
Marketing.
Just be quiet and drink your chocolate milk over there.
Yeah.
It's actually
it's Ronz in his head is going, you guys are fucking morons. Don't you understand marketing?
No, I'm not saying that. No, actually, this is a blueberry banana walnut smoothie. Not chocolate milk. I appreciate it, though.
This is also marketing for bananas and walnuts.
So we're going completely off topic, of course, of what you put me on there. I like that. That was cool. All right.
Speaking of shopping,
I'll have you know, though, by the way, I silenced my phone before the podcast started. So, because my lovely wife once again says, "Oh, the Ron thinks he's so important that he has to have someone call him because you came down on me so hard."
I'm on the phone, mother.
You know what, Tremonti? Do you notice the difference between the Beaveman today and last week? He's happy. I don't know why, but he's happier.
It had nothing to do with us. It was the neighbor that was.
The neighbor's not wood chipping. It's dark outside.
Oh, there was a lot more going on. Yeah, I mean, you could just hear it in
you
his
fucked
voice.
it up within the first minute.
I did do that. I did do that.
No, I didn't.
I did do that.
Well, let's be fair. You fucked it up within the first 10 seconds because the first thing you said was, "So Tremonde, you're black. That's great. That's what? Much love to you, brother. Way to be black."
I love how I'm going to get banned in like
Other
14 countries somewhere.
I'm not sure what they are.
Right. So, Ronz.
Yes, sir.
I am one of those individuals who don't give a shit really about any sport, but yeah, I do purchase.
He definitely does not.
Hats and things, just because I like the way the look of the hat, However, I do think that it's something drastically different than what the Swans was saying, as far as like people representing colleges as if they're an alumni. Like I feel like that has a different weight to it, and so you feel that those of us who wear hats of teams that we how did you put it?
You know what? I love how, Tremonde, you're the nicest guy I've ever met. You are. And I like how you're just trying to jab me, and you're like, how do I jab the Ronz? Huh? Right? Why don't you just hand it over to the Beaveman and let him come at me? Because you can't come at me.
You know what? I'm
just too nice.
I'm either going to make some listeners happy.
Go ahead.
I'm either going to make some listeners happy or I'm going to make them mad, but I'm going to side with the Ronz.
It doesn't matter.
I'd knock that hat off your fucking head.
Why?
I'm going to side with the Tremonde because I like my Detroit.
Oh, the Tremonde. I like that.
You
like
Tremonde.
I'm not gonna I couldn't even tell you 5 players on the Detroit Tigers. But
yeah,
because I'm from Detroit.
Oh, you're from Detroit?
I'm from Detroit. And that's the whole
Battle
team
Creek?
of our state. Yes, I will rep the Detroit Tigers.
Okay, well, I don't know one member of the Detroit Tigers, but that is my baseball team. Whenever I think of them, I think of my childhood and playing baseball and wanting to be on the Detroit Tigers. So just because I don't know anybody on the team right now doesn't mean that I don't love the Detroit Tigers.
Okay, so you can wear the fucking
hat,
hat
I'd
too.
still knock the hat off of people's heads who wear hats just because they're cool. There's a gas station, if you want to know. There's a gas station in Battle Creek that sells every fucking sports team hat. You can go in there, you can get a supersized fucking Slurpee, you can get some CBD, you can get any kind of unfiltered cigarette you want. You might be able to score some crack, and they also got all kinds of baseball hats in there you might like.
For me, it kind of goes back to the military. I mean, in order to wear the camouflage, the BDUs, as we called them in the Air Force, battle dress uniforms or whatever.
BDUs. There was no
What?
long pause.
You just stuttered. It was okay. We got your point. Go on.
You had to earn that through military, right? You had to, when you got the field jacket, right? That was yours for life, right? So,
right.
What's that?
Didn't care for it.
It really doesn't matter what you think, is what I think. So,
you still wear your little field jacket then? You're like, I
Does it fit?
Still fucking wear it.
I've got all my Arctic gear with it, I think.
Oh,
right?
boy.
The liner, the hoodie that came with it and everything. But when it comes down to it, I earned that, right? Just like you earned your uniform, your camouflage, right? And then all of a sudden, flash forward 10, 20 years, right? You can buy any military paraphernalia, right, that you want without earning it. I mean, I see a lot of guys go out and wear a field jacket, right? And I'm like,
I laugh at them. But I laugh at them when they're wearing it. You know why?
Why?
That shit is not warm.
Mine is.
No, it isn't. Oh my God! You've never had an actual winter coat made with any quality whatsoever, because the military field jacket is not warm.
I have my liner for it.
Okay, but it doesn't come, quote unquote, with a liner in it. The ones that are buying them, they're not getting them with a liner. They're just buying the regular.
Matter. I mean, I earned my field
jacket.
Who
gives a shit? You know what I did with mine? You know what I do with my field jackets?
What did you do with your field jacket?
I gave them to that guy that's on Southwest Nidge so he can sell them, or Northwest Nidge rather. Down with the one guy who's got you can go in there and buy nunchucks or military surplus shit.
Yeah, he moved his store over to. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He did move his store.
I gave him my shit. I'm like, here you go, sell it, knock yourself out.
But
Shit, warm.
it
Why do
goes
I
back
use shit that isn't warm?
Well, that's for you. But it goes back to.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't go back to anything. Boring. Moving on.
See, Tremonti, unmute yourself and boom. There you go.
No, but I do agree with the sports teams that are local sports teams, the college teams. People, for some reason in Michigan, that's the only conversation people want to have when they first meet you. People in America, I think, in general, are probably horrible conversationalists. Why is it within the first couple minutes you got to ask me, so are you a U of M or a Michigan State fan?
Because you're from
Either
Michigan.
one. Don't give a shit about either.
Didn't go to either
there.
college. I didn't go to either college. Why do I care?
No, that's all you got to say is I don't care for it.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the difference between major league sports teams or NBA, whatever they are. There's no chance I'm going to be on that team, so it doesn't seem so ridiculous that I would wear that hat. Flip to the other thing. You could have gone to that school if you're so hot and heavy about it. So, in other words, there's a difference between the potential, which is a high percentage potential, and one that has no potential. So I can be a fan of the Detroit Tigers. I was never going to play for the Detroit Tigers. I had no chance of playing for them. But I could have gone to U of M or MSU. And when people ask me, who's my football team, college football team, I'm like, the Lakers. That's where I went to school. That's my team. Ask me about what they're doing right now. I don't really know. I do like their uniforms. Other than that, don't know much about them.
So, Tremonti, who do you support? What's your favorite team?
Tremonti don't like
He
sports.
just said he doesn't like sports, motherfucker.
You've got some sort of sport you like. Or who do you support when you're in a group of friends?
No one, because I don't like sports.
He just said he doesn't like sports.
So I don't.
He likes hockey.
And so this is why I
don't like hockey.
That's not true. Everybody loves hockey.
No, we don't. We don't like to be cold. So, like, my thing is like, I think it's one thing to purchase something that you like. It's another thing to purchase something, and then you're using it to as if you're like representing or representation of whatever it is. For example, you have Kiss hanging up in the background. Were you a part of the band?
I tried out. I tried. I was no. I never tried out.
In his mind.
Was there anyone else there?
But I'm a big fan of Kiss, or at least my wife is, so I support my wife. Right?
But again, that's art. You're not being fanatical about it. It's not like if you wore a Kiss t-shirt, it's not like you're representing as if you're a member of the band, is what he's saying. When you have all these weird people in our state, and I know even if you go to Ohio, like there's this big rift.
Oh, big time.
You're from Michigan? It was the Buckeye State. Okay. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck.
I went.
And if you're from Ohio and you're listening to this right now, well, you know what? I still don't give a fuck. But thanks for listening.
I went to a family reunion on my wife's side, and they asked me, "What team do you support in Michigan?"
Southside Dojo.
Yeah, Southside Dojo.
Dojo.
They are big fans of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I said, well, if I want to get out of here alive, I'm going to be a big fan of Ohio today. Right?
And then you bent over and said, check out my Buckeye.
Wow. No, I did not.
Hey, it's winking at you.
No, I did not. So I'm honestly, I'm a football widow, basically. I'm not a big fan of football. I'll watch it. I support my wife and my son's teams. But, I could take it or leave it. I really could.
Can you explain that term that you just said?
Football widow? It means when your spouse or significant other is a big football fanatic, but you are not. Basically, that's it. I mean,
why would you be a widow?
Because basically, it's a dead subject.
Oh, because you're dead to them?
Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah.
No,
but that wouldn't make you a widow.
Because when her football's on, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that would make him the widow. That would make her the widow.
It is whatever. Now he's got to look it up.
No, it would make
No,
him
I
the
wanna
widow
understand.
because she's watching the game. So
No, he's dead. If he's dead to her.
No. She's dead to him because he doesn't have time with her when she's watching football. Right?
So here it is, right? You look it up, and it's a football or any other sport. Widow is a spouse forced to get a replacement during football season, or often referred to as the coach's wife or coach's significant other who must temporarily cope with the death of a relationship during football season. So when football is on, basically that's all there is in the household.
Ron's is single when football's on.
Okay,
No,
but
I'm not single, but
okay, but here's the other thing. Here's the part of it. Other part that I don't understand. Again, and I said this too. Why would you be the widow?
I'm not going to read too much into it.
Make the term up.
No. Does no one else understand what I'm saying? Tremonti, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
A widow is a woman.
It could be a man.
Well,
No, it can't. It cannot be a man. The term widow is for woman. A man is a widower.
whatever, same
So
thing.
I used the term incorrectly. Oh my Lord, you're going to. Oh, I am so sorry I don't fit into your perfect world. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you don't fit into my perfect world. You're gonna squirt some.
Oh, wait.
No,
Swan,
did you want to
don't
be the
back
daddy?
out of this.
Want to be the daddy? Is that it? You want to be the daddy?
You know
Number
what?
one. Number
Swan's
one. You want
playing
to be
the
the.
field here. I
wanna
love
run
how she's playing the field.
You want to run things around here, do you? Is that how it is? Go ahead. You gonna cry? You gonna squirt some? No. Catch the ball. Come on, catch the ball.
That is a spot on impersonation. But I love how Swan's playing the field on both sides. She's like,
Whoa! Did you just say the Swan's playing the field on both sides?
He did.
Yeah. She's on my side, then she's on your side. And Tremonti just says, nope, not part of this at all. Let's let it go.
Sometimes I just wish I had a shovel and just every time something happens, I'm just going to dig a little bit deeper for you.
Well, thank
Ron,
you.
Have you been out in the world recently? How'd you
Actually, I did.
How'd you get your hair cut?
My wife did it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. She cuts my hair. But I did get out into the public. And I did sell our name out there. I said, hey, you got to listen to our podcast.
he just walked up to people. Hey,
that's basically it. No, you're not too far off the mark. I had to. My neighbor had some surgery, and she asked me if I could go to. Would you just let me finish the damn story without you going? Oh, no. Okay. My neighbor had some surgery, and she needed me to go pick up some medication for her. So I did, and I'm just making slight conversation. And I thought I was going to say something stupid. I said, I'm not going to try to say anything stupid here because you know what? If I do, it's going to wind up in the podcast. They're like, podcast? You do a podcast? I said, well, and I'm not going to use whatever it is, but I said, yeah, I do a podcast with a guy because he is in the medical field like you. And I said, he gets it. He understands why people are somewhat jerks, and you got to be with it, because I was trying to sympathize with her. And if you listen to the podcast, he rants about stupid people, right? And it's great. Yeah, I love how Tremonti disagrees with that. And I said, you got to listen to it if you want, really would, and you'll understand it. And the person went, oh, what's the podcast name? And I said, Slaptail Nation, right? Give us a listen.
That's not our podcast, so you fucked it up. Nice job.
I said slaptailnation.com is where we're located.
That would be our website.
Slaptail Squad.
That's where that would be our website.
Yeah, if you type in the Slaptail Nation, I did that. And I also did a shout out on a gaming channel that I game in, and that was really cool. So I'm getting this out there. And of course, we've got one guy reading it anyway, Seymour Butts. So shout out to him.
Seymour Butts is probably a girl, so maybe you shouldn't just assume he's a she or she's a he.
Well, the Swans. What should I say?
Just see more butts. We don't know.
Okay, so it's androgynous.
And at least that we've got that one listener, because you know what? That's one more listener than I thought I would ever have.
And they commented. So I was so happy about that. I was rolling and laughing when I read that comment. I really was. So thank you. And it's like, I showed it to my lovely wife, and I'm like, oh, you got to see this. This is so cool. Right? And it just shows that someone is actually one listener's listening to us.
That is good. That is good. Back to shopping.
Shopping.
I would also like to mention that I've done something what I would consider frivolous a year or two ago, but I've actually spent $45 on a pair of shorts/swim trunks. Now the Tramonde probably thinks that's Trump change because a man has thousands of dollars worth of clothes.
Right.
But let me tell you, these are the most comfortable shorts I've ever owned. And by God, they're awesome. And they show off my thighs because what's the saying? What's our saying now?
Skies out, thighs out.
Skies out, thighs out. No longer will I wear the super long shorts. I will wear the shorts that show off the buffness of my quads. And if people don't like it, guess what?
Go fuck themselves.
I know we have an Instagram page, and we also have a Facebook page. So could you take a picture of your quads and we could post it?
Are you going to use all kinds of weird different fonts within the same description?
Of course.
And have lots of grammatical errors?
How is it? Yes. Yes, I will.
Just say yes. Just say yes. Are you going to let me say who these the people that I purchased these awesome shorts from?
It's totally up to you.
Let me say that also that these shorts are commonly referred to in my branch of the military as Ranger panties. On their site, I think they're also called Silkies. So if you've ever seen Silkies, but this particular company name is Sunga, Sunga. That's a type of short, and it's Sunga Life. So if you guys are really interested, check them out. They've got some pretty badass Ranger panties / Silkies. They've got regular shorts also. And, of course, they have bikinis for the ladies.
So, Beaveman, their proceeds, I know you said it was like a military brand. Is that correct?
The company is thank you for bringing that up, Tremonde. I forgot to mention that with Grunt Style also is a veteran started business, and Sunga is the same way. I don't know anything much about Grunt Style. I don't know if they're Marines or Army or what branch they actually started in. I'm assuming it's Marines or Army because they use the Grunt Style logo, which is the cross rifles, which is infantry, and there's only two branches that have infantry, the Army and the Marines. But who knows? Sunga was started by a Navy SEAL and his friends. So shout out to them. If you guys want to check them out, you won't get any discount for us mentioning them. But man, are they comfortable shorts. They're comfortable. I love them.
Nice. What do their proceeds go to support?
If anything. The owners. My guess would be the owners.
Okay. So if you were to see me, someone who has not served in any capacity,
don't fucking do it.
Would you pants me?
Don't fucking do it.
But you're just
no, they're cool, Tremonde. You can wear them, and they have like board shorts, so like the longer version shorts, or they have like the silky shorts, or they got like
okay. But here's the difference, right? These ones do not say, they don't make references to the military on their clothing.
Right.
They're just nice clothes. I mean, they're awesome. They're cool looking. They're comfortable. That's the difference between them.
Right.
And like Grunt Style.
He wasn't talking about Grunt Style. He was referring to the Sunga shorts.
So right? I got to know why you'd pants Tremonde.
Clothing in general. Let him ask the fucking question.
Ooh, getting him riled up.
So my question is.
Don't ask the question.
He is.
You said don't ask the question. So
you said, just go ahead and do it all.
All I know is he wants to pants you.
So I'm saying, who wants to pants who, Ron?
He said he would pants you. So it's.
Hey, did you know that Kmart will ship your pants?
Kmart doesn't exist anymore, does it?
No, but look that commercial up because it's
best
funny.
Commercial ever. Ship your pants. Hey, Timmy.
I just shit my bed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Play on words.
All right, Ronz.
Yeah, I'm
You
listening.
can answer me when I say your name.
Okay.
Can you
What?
let Tremande ask his question and stop interrupting?
So I know earlier
So
you
when do you
said
want me
that.
to let him answer? Yeah, sure.
It's Tremonde's turn. He has the microphone.
Oh my gosh.
You know what reminds me of that
Shit.
Geico commercial or whatever it is, where they're all on, they're all on webcam. And they're like, someone's talking, over talking. So Tremonde, you got the floor. Go ahead and answer.
I'm gonna wait for like 6 seconds.
No, that'd be dead air.
So earlier you stated that when you see people who are wearing sports caps and things like that, you want to knock the hat off their head because it's like, why are you supporting that team when you have no association with it, right? So here I am, wanting to be a good friend and support you and the fight that you have done for our country and you're promoting this brand. And so if I put on this brand, do I have to worry about you pantsing me because I'm representing or wearing something that you don't feel I deserve to wear?
Okay, let me say this.
Why do you want to see him naked so bad?
Let me say this. I fully support anybody buying these products. The fact in my head that I want to slap them off of people should not keep anybody from buying them, because the bottom line is I want people to support these businesses. It's just my own personal thing in my head. I'm like, man, I'd like to slap that off that motherfucker. What the fucking... Same reason why I would not wear a Marine Corps t-shirt or a Air Force t-shirt or a Navy t-shirt. But that's just me. Obviously, I want people to buy these products. They're good products. This grunt style t-shirt is one of the softest t-shirts I think I've ever owned.
Very nice
It's
fitting, very nice quality.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Nice.
And I'm pretty happy with the size. I think it's going to shrink just a little bit. I was afraid it would be too small because I wear a medium. And I'm just that weird size. If I get a large, it looks like it's a sleep shirt. I look like one of the chipmunks, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's a medium. Sometimes, my fat flanks push out, and that really bothers me. But this is a pretty nice T-shirt. Very happy with it. Proud to be a throat punch donor. Thank you, Grunt Style.
Nice.
Please send us
He
a free
really
shit.
likes the T-shirt.
But back to the Sungas. You guys got to check those out. Yeah, I would totally buy them. Anybody, Ronz, you would like them.
I would.
I'm not sure how. You know what? Fuck that. Show those thighs off, Ronz. Thighs out. Thighs out. Thighs out.
There we
If
go.
you're a chick and you buy the bikini, sun's out.
Buns out.
If you're a man, sun's out, guns out.
So on that note, with the thighs out, what do you think about the mankini?
They have them.
Yeah, I'm
They
pretty
call
sure
it
someone does, but what do you
mankini.
think about them? Will the Beaveman wear a mankini?
No.
No, dude, if you're a swimmer and you have that kind of body, you can rock that. But anybody else, no.
What are you
No,
saying?
you got a
The
big
Beaveman
old
doesn't
gut.
have that type of body?
Who, me? No.
A swimmer body? No. Not a bad body, but not a swimmer body. If you have a swimmer body, you can wear that and get away with it.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'd like to also point out that the Beaveman is, 47 years old, and I'm in pretty good shape for 47.
You are.
I thought you were a lot younger than that.
Hence why I'm in a pretty decent shape for my age. Speaking of the fact that Tremonde doesn't like sports, do you want to hear something funny, Ronz, about the Tremonde? About Tremonde?
I don't know. I kind of, I really do respect him. I just don't want to lose that respect.
Well, you think I'm going to tell something like compromising that's going to make you not respect him anymore?
No, but maybe. Okay,
Yes,
now
you
what
have
is it?
children on.
All right, you've heard of the Tough Mudder, right? That little
Yeah.
obstacle course you can go. It's like 12 to 13 miles or whatever. It's got obstacles all the way through it.
I remember
First time
you
we
and
did
the
it.
Swan training for that. Yeah.
First time we did it, it was pretty fun. It was pretty hard, and there wasn't a lot of people doing it, so you didn't have to wait at a lot of stations, which was nice. Second time we did it, we got another team together, and I asked Tremonde to be on my team, and I believe the way I posed the question to him was like this. I said, Tremonde, you're a young athletic man. I think that you would you like to do this thing with us because you're in really good shape. And he said yes. I'm like, great. So we go one day to the gym to work out, and we're just doing some stuff. And I said, okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do some dips. I show it to my, I point to the dip bar, and I said, all right, you go ahead, and then I'll go after you. He's like, okay. So he looks at the dip bar, he looks at me, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what am I supposed to do here? Yeah, and I said, I'm like, you have never done a dip, and he's like, no, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do.
No.
Now there's a blank look on Ron's face right now, which means I'm thinking he doesn't know what the fuck a dip is.
I don't.
And he's looking it up on the computer.
I am
right now.
I am.
So you're telling me you were in the Air Force. Now wait a minute. You were in the Air Force and you never had to do dips.
No.
What the fuck did you guys even do for PT?
What was that?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, we didn't have to do dips. We did push-ups and sit-ups, right? That's basically and ran. On your own time,
you did nothing else.
On your own time, though, you could work out. Okay. I know when I was training, I was in the Air Force training under with a different style. I would go to the base gym. I would do free weights. I also did weight training on my hands and my legs, and I would do cardio for at least almost to a half hour to an hour. So, but that was on my own time.
And you didn't have to do pull-ups?
I did pull-ups on my own, but no.
That answers the question. We know what the standard of fitness are for the majority of the people in the Air Force. They are not required to do hardly anything, as we all suspected.
I wouldn't say that.
If there's any Air Force listeners out there who are not members of combat control teams or pararescue, I'm pretty much sure that you're not doing very much PT. God bless you. I've always said that you're basically just civilians in uniform. If you're listening to this and you're a member of the Air Force and you don't like what I just said,
let's see how many pull-ups you can do then.
No, that was not the line. The line is, go fuck yourself.
Now, the thing is, every branch supports each other. But with what I did in my field, right, I pulled a very, God, this is going to come out so damn wrong. I worked in fuels, and I pulled a very long hose constantly. Right?
I do too.
Yeah, there we go. So,
I mean, fuel is, I guess that's slang. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. It's slang for whatever you want. But I did fuels. And, when you've got, yeah.
He pulled the hose.
A long one.
Yeah.
All day.
When you work in different career fields in the military, some days you have, you don't work out constantly. Some days you're just, you're lugging around heavy equipment, pulling hoses, right? And that's what I did. I worked with fuels and all types of fueling equipment.
Hoses and
Where
such.
did you work?
Bobby? Dad, what do you do? Bobby, I work with fuels and fueling equipment.
I was what they call POL, right?
A piece of it.
Right, yeah. Pricks, Oddballs, and Lunatics was our name, or painting odd jobs with landscaping. I refueled jets, right, and vehicles. What's that?
Did you work with fuels?
Hoses all day.
Yeah, I did work with fuels.
You did.
Right?
Just to clarify.
And
there's any listeners out there now who have not figured out what the Ronz did.
I also worked with
Also
cryogenics.
a martial artist.
I also worked with cryogenics as well.
So the Ronz, where I think that you were going with this is that because you pulled hoses, you were fit, right? That's where you got your fitness in. Is that what you were going to say?
On some days, yeah.
Yeah, so therefore you didn't necessarily have to do.
No, the thing is, though, I will admit to this, is that where I was stationed at, I drank a lot of beer, right? I was over in England and the Netherlands, right? So when I was over in Europe, the beer over there at the time I was drinking was a lot better than American beer, right? So, Beaveman, you were over in Europe at one point, and if you drank, to me, the alcohol, you could go to any bar, the beer was really good.
So after how many beers did you start pulling hoses when you were off? I mean, how many were you pulling hoses after 1, 2, 3 beers, or?
No, I never drank while I was on duty.
He pulled
No.
hoses sober.
Sober. That's the one thing, right? Military can twist anything around to make it sound so damn perverted. It's unreal.
It was just a question.
No,
You don't have to defend yourself. It's okay.
I was going to
that.
ask a question, but Beaveman, you kind of answered it for me.
What was the question?
The question was going to be, so people who have served and have served, in different forces or what have you, what is the respect level that, like is there like a respect level that you have just because people have served, no matter what it is that they served in? Yeah, I got that from your.
Now, don't let the Beaveman fool you. Yeah, there's I'll step up here. There's this level of respect for all the branches, right? And there's this meme online.
That's what people in the Air Force say.
Yeah, that's what you guys think because none of us respect you. Like, you guys are great.
Yeah, you know why we're
Army,
great? Because we tested higher
Navy,
on
Air Force,
our
we do.
tests to get
Marine.
into the Air Force, right? If you look at
Those are- love
the
you
Air
too,
Force,
even though
you
you're
have to
Department
test
of
pretty high to get in. They just don't let everybody in. Well, anyway,
Not
Lies.
everybody. Not everyone can
can
pull
test
a
as low as you can, but you succeeded, and that's why we're proud of you for making it this far. Thank you. Anyway, so- But military guys rag on other military guys. That's just the way it is. But when an outsider does it, we're quick to defend them. We're quick to defend each other. Whether you're a spouse, and spouses are considered part of the military family, right? Military brothers and sisters, right? I'm quick to defend them because even though the B-men will tease me, and I will be the first one to tell you that I've got his back in case he needs it in a corner. Well, because he's ex-military. Anybody who's gone through 4 years, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever, right, deserves some sort of respect. They really do, unless they've really fucked up and got their. But even then, it takes a lot of guts to join the military.
In answer to your question, Tremonde, no.
No, no, not at all.
Just because you were in the military does not mean you earned my respect. No.
No, and that goes for some people too. That you don't earn their respect automatically just because you have that military name attached. There's a guy I know that was in the military with me in the Air Force, and to this day, if I ever see him, I really want to throat punch him, right? So he deserves a worthy of a throat punch. Why? Because he was a complete douchebag. He may have changed. But also back to the Beaveman, what he said. What the hell? I didn't know what a dip bar is because, if someone said dip, I thought it was chewing tobacco. You dip. What? No.
And so in a gym, in that
Like,
context.
you want to do some dips?
Like, you need to do some dips. You're like pulling out. You're like, oh, yeah, sure, brother. Give me some right here, right in the lower lip.
Well, you see people
Put it there.
You'd
Put
see
it in
people
my
with
mouth.
skull.
Right in my mouth.
Right? You'd see them
Right
with
now.
chew tobacco,
Hose.
whatever it was. You'd see them with that, right?
Put it in my mouth right now. Hold my hose. Hold my hose and put that in my mouth.
There you go.
2 hands. Use 2 hands.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I didn't know what a dip was. I'm pretty sure I did a couple when I worked out on my own, but
On accident.
If memory serves me right, I might have done
He's
it.
like,
right.
I
don't
was
think
following.
I-
I was
No,
following.
I did one.
well, it was like 20, 30 years ago when I was in Taekwondo, and I was training. Right? I've got.
You were in what now?
Taekwondo.
I see. So some sort of martial art.
Yeah.
It's amazing how often you bring that up.
Amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing.
It's almost like I'm a martial artist.
It is almost like that. And one would fear you if I was in your presence and I tried to punch you in the mouth. That would be a mistake on my part.
No. I would probably let you hit me.
You're like, I'm gonna fuck up that hand.
I am kind of
Fuck up that hand with my face.
Yeah, and on that note, what I love is someone says, what the hell is that?
Oh, we're getting hacked by what is it? Friendly Bear, Fuzzy Bear.
I heard that too. No, one thing that
Bear.
I really like is the question is, what if I have a gun? Where's your martial arts? That's like, I'm not stupid. I'm going to die. Right? Just because you have
Who's
a black
asking you
belt.
these questions?
Oh, stupid people. You run into them all the time when you talk to
Would you
them.
tell them that you're a martial artist?
No.
They're like, within the first 1 to 2 seconds of us having a conversation, after I've explained that I'm a martial artist, all these dumb people ask me dumb questions like, what if I have a gun?
Well, you get that asked at the dojo too sometimes. You really do. Right? I mean, I've seen you train. People ask you probably stupid questions like, what if I come at you like this? What if you do? What's going to happen? Right? Oh, well.
You know what my answer to that is?
What is your
Most of
answer,
the time?
Beaveman?
Most of the time, if someone asks me a dumb question like that,
Swan?
I usually...
Swan, that's a hand. That's really a hand. Really, it's really cool. That's really cool.
Usually what I say is that you would get shot. That's usually my response.
Awesome. Awesome.
He's like,
What do you want me to say? I mean,
Getting shot is awesome.
yeah,
that's usually my
that's
answer
the
when
end of the
someone asks
answer.
a dumb question like that.
Yeah.
And they give that stupid look. You're just like you're saying. You're right. They give me that stupid look, and this is what I say to them is, why would I use jujitsu? If you come at me, I'm just gonna shoot you. That's
There
what
you
my
go.
gun's for.
There you go.
That gun I carry, that's what that's for.
All right. All right.
Old man. I'm an old man, but you know what? I'm smart. Why do I need to use that if I had a real threat coming at me?
Yeah, smarter people test higher to get into the Air Force, but we won't go there.
Oh, that's just a myth that they tell you. What was your ASVAB score? If I may?
I don't remember.
Oh, how convenient.
Do you remember yours?
116.
I was probably a lot higher than that.
I don't think so because it goes to, I believe, 135. So I don't think yours was a lot higher than that. My test score was pretty high, and the job I did was not a job I had to do. It was a job I wanted to do. I could have picked pretty much any job.
Really? So they told you what you wanted to do. That's interesting.
No, you misunderstood what I just said.
He picked that.
You never get to pick what you want.
Oh, no. Yes, I did.
You got no proof to back that up, so hey.
You want me to look up my recruiter and call him and you can talk to him? They tried to talk me out of infantry. I could have picked whatever I wanted to. If I wanted to be a photographer, which was what I put years before that, if I wanted to be a journalist, a linguist, any of that stuff, I had my pick. I picked infantry, and they tried to talk me out of it.
Wow.
Because why would I want to do anything other than be a warfighter? If you're going to join the military, why would I join the military to do something else? In my mind, that's what the military's for.
Makes sense to me.
Always makes sense.
Why? Because you think he's simple?
No, not at all. Why would I think Tremonde simple?
I don't know. Why do you? Why would you say that?
I did say that.
You did say that?
No, I did. So anyway, are we going to bring Tremonde into this conversation at some point, or is this going to be two military guys bantering back and forth about idiocy? And yes, I've read the caption about our podcast. It's about idiots ranting.
Good caveat. That is true. That's what it's for. We didn't even get to the topic that we were going to talk about, which was an important topic to me, but it's fine. Whatever.
So I thought about your topic.
Continued.
I did
actually. You actually thought you put some prep into it? You were thinking?
I did actually. I did because there are a couple of people that I thought about, right? And it's like who were one of my favorite teachers, right? That allowed me to actually become something.
Don't say it. Don't say it. You fucking say, I swear to God.
Don't
I
say
swear
what?
to God, if you say it to help me get my black belt, I will fucking reach through this goddamn microphone and strangle you.
I like how you were going with that.
Think really hard. Is
So
that where you were going? No, go ahead. Finish your story.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't going to go there.
He's
But maybe
changing
I
it.
will now.
No.
Yeah,
If that's what
I think I will.
I automatically
think I
assumed
will go
that's
there.
where you're going.
Because you can't throat punch me through the damn camera. So yeah, I got you. Yeah, this is one of those violent things that you can't do.
Go ahead. Tell us about this teacher of yours. How interesting that it was a teacher, but please go ahead. I'm going to assume that it had nothing to do with martial arts. Go ahead.
No, it was my
We're
computer.
going to use the last 15 minutes of our podcast for Ronz to share a story about someone who made a difference in his life, who was a mentor, in an amusing way. And then on the to be continued, Tremonde and I will talk about ours.
You know
Go
what?
ahead, Ron.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about Tremonde for a second, because if anything, last night, right, I got called. You know, I'm sorry I didn't answer the text right away because I was doing other things. And when I got it, you texted me, hey, are you up for a podcast? I'm like, yeah, when? And you gave me the time. I'm like, that's 45 minutes from now. I'm like, okay, I can. And then, of course, I'm thinking as I'm going through this, I'm like, all of a sudden, we have to cancel. And I'm like, why? And you texted, Tremonde has a date with, and it blurred out from there. I don't know who we had a date with.
Date with? What?
No. It's, so what happened? It's like, he's got to look it up. No, I was all set for it, and Tremonde just had a.
So your text came from when I asked about the podcast that night. You got a text. What time? I sent it at 6:01.
Sorry, my reception was bad. Right, I was actually.
So you got it at 8:45.
Something like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I could do that. So
You want to hear a funny story about the Ronz, Tremonde?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Please.
So Ronz texts me and says, "Hey, this is from my new phone. This is Ron. This is from my new phone." Sends me a text basically like that. And so I text him back, and I'm paraphrasing, but I was like, "Congratulations." Like, as if it's, how do I not know? It's the same number, Ron.
Right.
Did you think that changing your phone but keeping your number would somehow be different when you text it to me, that it's going to come back as somebody else?
All right. For those who are not smart in the tech field, once again, I tested higher for the Air Force, is that you can spoof a number and make it look like the text from it, but that's some next level shit.
But it was your number.
You did not listen. You can spoof that number to make it look like my number.
Why would it make any difference if it was your new phone for you to text me and say, "Hey, it's me. This is my new phone"? It wasn't a different number. And
No,
you
no,
already
I
told me
remember.
you were getting a new phone. So why would I think for 1 second that somebody took time out of their day to spoof your number? Oh, I forgot, because you're super important. That's why you get called.
I like
during
how
the
you
podcast.
twisted that, but the thing,
Please,
hold on.
Somebody please spoof my number. I'm going to have to text the Rons. I'm going to have to text the
No,
Beaveman.
this was
It's me, the Rons. Actually, that
Yeah.
seems more suspicious that somebody who is spoofing your number would be like, "Hey, it's me. I am Ron."
I remember
It's
the
me.
conversation
I am
because
Ronz. And it's
was
actually some
about-
kid in China.
you sent me the link with Tremonde's gospel choir. And I said, "Oh, maybe the link will work on my new phone here versus my own phone. I got a new phone, so it should work." Oh, okay. Good luck, or something like that. It wasn't because, hey, this is the Ronz, I'm texting you from my new phone. Yeah, you're gonna know who it is, but it was because of that link, because my old phone didn't work that well.
So what was the original topic of the podcast today?
It doesn't even matter anymore.
It
Doesn't matter
doesn't.
anymore. It was a bunch of gratuitous advertisements for people who don't sponsor us or give us any money. Is there anybody else you want to give a shout out to, Roz? Like your guy with the other podcast, so you don't interrupt us mid topic and say, "Oh, by the way, and this is going out to."
No, I've got no one at this point. But I wanted to know about your projector and your home theaters, outdoor theater setup. What type of projector are you using?
We didn't get it yet. We said we want one.
I
It's
know.
going to be our next frivolous purchase.
Are you going to use it for your like a cell phone projector or a laptop projector?
It's its own unit.
Yeah, and are you going to use it for broadcasting from a cell phone or a laptop?
It doesn't matter, whichever one. Some of them are Bluetooth, and you can do it right from your phone.
I realize that. Once again, I'm glad I scarred higher to
You
get
scarred? You scarred what?
Scarred.
You're not coming
You
back.
know what? I have to
You
admit,
got
I
scarred
look
from all the
forward.
hoses he
Now
held.
let me ask you this question. Ron.
Okay.
If you're so convinced that you scored higher than me on the ASVAB test, yet your job in the Air Force would be considered one of the lowest scoring jobs in the Army, why do you think that you scored higher than me? Because if you scored so super high for the Air Force, you would have had a much higher tech job than fueling.
That's true.
But that's what he chose, right?
You chose fueling.
There's a lot of things, circumstances that I won't go into behind it. But yeah, I chose
You were
fueling.
Black Ops fueling. Yeah, you were doing some Black Ops shit. Another reason why he can relate to people who are not white is because Ronz.
Why do you got to bring race up like
Ops.
that? Why
It was
do you
Black
have
Ops,
to bring up race like that?
He was doing some Black Ops refueling.
No. Jesus. Wow.
All my listeners who are military right now are just dying laughing because they're like, even cooks right now are going, God damn, I was a cook, and that's way better ass than refuel.
Well, we have a saying in fuels. Without us, you're just pilots or pedestrians. And that's the truth, right?
Because the pilot's like, damn, I got this aircraft here. I've spent the past 8 years learning about aeronautics and space and flight, and I could be a fucking astronaut if I wanted to be, but goddamn.
You can't go anywhere without fuels.
Way to fuel this bad boy.
You can't go anywhere without fuels. You can't. I did liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen, right? So I did a little bit of everything.
I grabbed a hose because by then I'd already become hypoxic from huffing.
Hypoxic. Oh, and just because, what's your medical statement this week or medical question for the audience, Beaveman?
Do I have a medical question for the audience?
Well, you said vitiligo, right? And you said I'm always inquiring you to flex your medical brain, so I'm inquiring to flex your medical brain.
Why are you detracting from what we were talking about?
I'm not. I'm asking you to add to it.
My military listeners that are listening right now, if you were a Black Ops fueler also, please comment on our site. And if you were something just lame like, oh, I don't know, Navy SEAL, or maybe a Black Hawk pilot, or an F-15 pilot, A-10 pilot, or Special Forces, Ranger, combat controller. If you were doing one of those lame jobs that didn't require you to think, and you aspired to be a fueler,
or a medical person,
you didn't score high enough, and had to resign yourself to flying an F-15 Tomcat, then please comment on our
F-15 Strike Eagle, F-15 Eagle.
Oh, see, I wouldn't know that because I didn't do any fueling, so I don't.
No, that's the basic aircraft. F-14s are Tomcats.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. What did you do in the Air Force? Oh, or the Army or whatever it was you went in? No. That's okay.
Yeah.
Now, once again, military.
So if you didn't score high enough and you had to do one of those lame jobs like Special Forces or Navy SEAL or Delta Force, and you wanted to be a fueler, my sympathies go out to you, but please comment on our podcast. Maybe reach out to the Ron so he can tell you about his experiences in the real military doing the real work.
I respect all the military personnel.
You have to. You were a fucking fueler.
I know. I respect all branches of the military and whatever they did. I really did. I've run into quite a few that had some really interesting career fields. Like
right now, water purification specialists are going, God damn, I thought my job was lame as fuck.
Water purification specialist? I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Well, clearly they didn't score high enough.
No, they did. Tremonde, the only way I can tell that you haven't frozen, by the way, by looking at your camera, is that you're blinking, because you're like this. Like,
So back to that
wow.
back to the whole question earlier. You were asking Shimane about who could wear what. Why don't you tell us what you brought home the other day? What'd you bring home?
An army shirt. It's really cute and cool, and I'm gonna wear it.
All right. Cool.
But I wasn't in the army.
Well, you're a spouse of a vet, so
See?
that makes it okay.
No, it doesn't.
Why doesn't it make it okay?
Because it doesn't say Army spouse on it.
Yeah, that would
So-
be lame. I'm not gonna wear one that says that.
So,
Now, I'll tell you what's appropriate to wear. Years ago, I bought the Swan this really nice thong, and it had a set of jump wings on it. And it says, what does it say? I love my
Says I
paratrooper.
heart my paratrooper.
Yes, now that's appropriate.
Well, I could wear the t-shirt with the thong.
Then I guess that would be okay.
There you go then.
hey, it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. It's win-win. Win-win. Is there any other gratuitous shout-outs you'd like to do? While I'm here, let me say my favorite podcast, Last Podcast on the Left. Guys, give them a listen. They're pretty awesome. And while the Ronz talks about coffee, I'll go over our stats for the week because that makes the Ronz happy.
It does. It does. Coffee. So why am I talking about coffee? How much coffee? You don't drink coffee, do you, Tremonde?
Maybe 2 cups a year.
Oh,
How do you like your coffee, Tremonde? With sugar and cream?
Just sugar,
Just sugar, no cream?
no cream.
That's interesting.
why is that interesting?
Because I figured he'd like it brown.
Black,
No, brown.
brown, mocha.
Because everybody wants a little bit of the mocha.
There we go. Get a little Tremonde swaying there.
Are you going to talk about coffee, Ron?
Yeah,
Coffee.
Ron. Are you gonna talk
Coffee.
about coffee?
You mean like Scars and Stripes coffee,
Yeah.
right? I didn't realize I would be doing that today, but yeah,
Or
Scars and
you've
Stripes
been doing it every
coffee.
time, so yes.
Which is another good thing that they do.
Is make coffee.
No, they
sell coffee.
support
They sell coffee. Another veteran-owned.
another veteran-owned Scars and
Yes,
Stripes
really.
coffee. Empowers veterans to build their own business using e-commerce platforms, right? And they also, I think you've mentioned before, help try to prevent
Promote
I'm trying to-
awareness.
awareness to military suicides, if I'm wording that correctly. And that's a touchy subject. I know it is. So if you know anybody that needs to voice an opinion, have someone to talk to, please have them reach out to one of us and we'll listen. And the Beaveman will, of course, berate them for being a wimp, but you can always, we'll come out here and we'll listen to you.
Here's a funny story about suicide.
Oh, yeah. Let's just go down this dark road.
While he's looking up the website address to promote Scars and Stripes coffee for our friend of the show, Carrie. Not Ron's Carrie, a different Carrie. Let me tell you this funny suicide story. Now, a lot of you probably think suicide isn't funny, and you're right, it's not. But what is funny is when someone attempts, quote, suicide in a ridiculous way. I was not there. This is a third-party story. But I was told this story by many people, and I do believe that it was true. They were all sitting there hanging out, as people tend to do in the military after hours, hanging out, maybe having a few beers, chit-chatting, shooting the shit, and all of a sudden, one of their peers walks into the room with 550 cord around his neck, and attached to the other end of it was a piece of ceiling tile. And he said, I can't even kill myself right. So, if you're trying to commit suicide from a drop ceiling by attaching one end of the rope to a ceiling tile and the other around your neck, chances are good you will not be successful when you attempt to hang yourself.
The Tremonde is just shaking his head.
So you could go to www.facebook.com/Carrie's Brew, and that'll get you with Carrie Scars and Stripes coffee that the B-Man so much likes drinking the coffee from. Right. So
Ronz, you're great.
You know, I don't know how to segue into something like that. How do I segue into that? There's no damn way that I cannot segue into that. I can segue out of it like a dumbass, but I can't segue into it. So I might as well just go for the coffee and they're on Facebook.
If it was the other way around, and Ronz and you or Tremonde or the Swan was telling me that story, I might have some sort of response to that story before I go into, and you can find this coffee at www.scars/coffee stripes, and they've got coffee.
Okay.
You didn't even comment on my story. You just.
Why would I? It's a tragic story. I mean, honestly, you know.
It didn't end tragically.
Yeah, it did. The guy was fucking depressed.
He didn't kill himself. He failed. He probably felt even worse about it.
Once again, he was depressed. Right? What do you want me to say about some guy who couldn't kill himself? Hey, better luck next time, buddy. I can't. I mean, Jesus. What do you say to that? You don't. Just let it go. You try and segue into, hey, this is the product we're going to buy.
Get him a cup of coffee.
Get him a cup of coffee.
Give him something.
Okay.
Because you're not dead, you can buy some coffee.
Maybe it'll perk up your day.
Cheers. Okay, fine then. That's your take on my story. Let's go over to somebody with a heart. Tremonde, what was your response to that story?
I see where the I'm trying to understand, like, okay, you're right. It is a very serious thing, and I would think if someone is attempting to commit suicide, they have given thought to what they want to actually take place, and to think that doing so and attaching yourself to ceiling tiles that are removable, what makes you think that was going to be successful? That's almost like saying like I'm going to tie it to a feather and on the other end of the rope, and I'm going to throw it off of a building.
And the weight of the feather will drag me over.
And again, I'm making light of the situation.
I like how he's trying to think. For those at home who cannot see from on his face, he's perplexed.
It doesn't make sense to me.
All right, so that's the response from someone with a heart, Tremonde. Let's turn to the Swan then. I'm not saying the Swan doesn't have a heart, but what's your response to my story? As a normal human being who was not in the military, go ahead.
Well, I'm kind of jaded. I mean, he didn't even know how to do that part right. I would say try again next time. Let me give you some pointers. No, probably not.
What are you, Dr. Kevorkian over here?
Kind of. Do you know how many people came into the ER came in for suicide attempts? I could write a book on how to do it the right way. I mean, don't call anybody. Rule number 1, don't call anybody. Hey, I'm going to go to this hotel and kill myself, and then I'm going to call somebody and tell them about it. Dude, that ain't going to work. They're going to find you.
Slaptail Squad, slaptailnation.com. Do not endorse suicide.
No, I mean that's almost like a cry out for help. It
is exactly a cry out for help.
So that person probably wasn't serious about it anyway. Or if they were, they would have done it right. And they don't talk about it.
So you're saying they should have got help instead?
Yes, get help. So he should get help.
What type of help?
And maybe that was his way of getting help, by making a comedic thing out of it and coming there.
No, I don't think he was going for comedy.
No?
No.
Comedy.
No.
I mean, everybody. Okay, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Okay. Let me say this. Here's the problem with the military. What he did caused other people to laugh and call him a loser and be like, dude, you can't even fucking kill yourself right. That was the response. That's the problem with the military. You have this conditioning that if you can't hack it, that you're a pussy. So instead of helping each other or really talking to each other when the shit is getting hard for them, which is what they should do, they look at themselves and think that they're being weak. And it's a sad mindset that they set up for themselves. And it's conditioning. It's what they teach you to do. They teach you to stuff it all inside. They teach you to serve and do what you need to do so that when the shit hits the fan, you won't think twice about it. You'll just do it. The problem is, and I hope it's not that way anymore, but it probably is that you have friends that you would do anything for, that you love dearly, but it's hard for you to say, hey, man, I'm struggling. This is hard for me. I feel like hurting myself. Because it's not in your wiring at that age. And this is a tender age for them. Most of them are super young. You know, it's if you can't bounce that shit off each other and they're all feeling it, then what do? And yes, when I heard that story, when I was told that story, I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was funny. I was like, fuck, did anybody like talk to him about the fact that he said he wanted to kill himself? But nobody did. And then I was looked at like, what are you talking about? Like they thought I was fucking weird for saying that. So it's a problem. It's an issue. So just like the Ron said, I know it sounds ridiculous. It was not supposed to be a veteran suicide thing. But yeah, it's an epidemic, man. So you can always reach out to the Slaptail Nation. You can always reach out to the Slaptail Squad. You can send us a message. There's lots of organizations out there, and pretty much all these organizations, just like, you know, Scars and Stripes, are trying to get to build awareness. Dysfunctional Veterans, any of the veteran sites, they're all doing the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. Hey, reach out to somebody. Even if you have to say, hey, reach out to somebody, you fucktard, because there's plenty of us out there that are like, hey, dude, reach out to us. We're here. But they got to make that step.
I think that, and I think you may have brought up a point, that the issue with that is that those who are standing before you all as your commanders or whatever title they have, I feel like those should be the people who are saying, this is what you are enlisting in, and there's going to be some hard times, and here are some resources for you, instead of instilling in them this mindset of stuffing everything inside. And then you have one person such as yourself, Beaveman, who stand up in a room full of others to help support that individual, you know? So I will hope that there are more people who are in leadership positions who are saying, hey, there is help out there for you.
I agree with what Beaveman's saying. There's we're taught from day one when we put what we call boots on ground, is that we have a mission, right? What's that?
Go ahead.
We have a mission, and that mission is to survive and get the job done at what cost. This is where PSGD comes into play, because we get the job done, but at the end, what's our outlet? I have friends in the medical field, of course, and I have friends in law enforcement and still in the military, and I often ask them, what's your outlet? And they look at me, I mean, how do you get rid of these aggressive feelings or these depressing feelings? What would you do for fun? And let's go back to last week's podcast with the Beaveman. You could see the aggressiveness in him, right? You could hear it in his voice. Yeah. But his outlet was what? The podcast and a couple of his buddies, right? Letting him vent. And that was so cool, because if you look at him today, while he's doing it, he's so much happier, right?
Oh,
he might have got a hold of
some. It's pretty full.
Right. So he might have got a hold of some Xanax. We're not sure, right? But, you know, what's your outlet? And that's one of my constant asks. It's like, what's your outlet? And I'm like, what? What do you do? And I'll bring up martial arts. For me, my therapy is martial arts and doing this podcast and working in the community. For others, it's fishing. For others, it's attending a veterans meeting, right? It's whatever you can make it, right? Sort of like you with your singing, Tremonde. That was your outlet. I mean, and you've got a wonderful voice, and you were singing and dancing, and I loved it.
I know, he was great. He was great in that choir.
He was. He was. Even though he wasn't in that choir. Yeah. But, you know,
it's funny, though, that you thought you saw him, right? Like, I thought I saw him like 6 different times. 6 different times I thought I saw him.
Is it because he's black?
You know,
I
was waiting for the Beaveman to actually say that, but he never did. So Swan comes in for the win. No.
Go Swan.
Go Swan. Go Team Swan. I would wear that hat. Teams won. Right? Or that
I have to
T-shirt.
wear my hat. 'Cause you
Yeah.
can't hold my hose.
Okay.
I said you wanted to wear your cat.
Yeah. Jeez. I see how this goes. Right.
Right up.
But
All right, well, that's it for me. Like I said, check out Sunga Life. Check out Grunt Style shirts. Even if you weren't in the military, sure, go ahead, buy their shit. I don't care.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just don't come up to me and talk to me like, hey, where'd you get that shirt? Hey, I got that shirt too.
Mhm.
Pretty sweet site. Unless you're going to say I heard about it on the Slaptail Squad, which would be fucking killer.
And then they could get your autograph on that shirt.
What?
Who does that?
Who does that?
Rock stars. You've never gone to like Whalen and their merchandise. Don't they have a merch table where they sign the?
Yeah, but why would the Beaveman sign the Grunt Style T-shirt?
Yeah, I didn't.
Because
make
they
it.
heard about it on our damn podcast.
Well, why would I sign? It's not my
No.
product. Why would I sign it?
But it's about you.
Oh, I don't understand marketing. That's why. That's the new thing. I would understand what you're talking about if I understood marketing.
Oh gosh.
And if I scored higher on my tests, I understand what you mean. But I didn't.
You know what? You probably scored higher than me on a test. You probably did.
Yeah, I'm sure I scored higher than you. But
I'm really happy you
It
did.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. In the end, it's just the same.
I
doesn't
gave
matter.
the special ed version test in the Air Force, and that's why
Is that the one
everybody
that you
passed.
took the special ed's test? No? Okay.
No.
No. And
All right, well, maybe we'll get to our topic that we were talking about last that we were planning on doing. But this was a good podcast. Thanks to the Ron spouting off all kinds of crazy shit, as usual.
yeah.
Always.
Black Lives Matter,
Black Lives Matter, people. Remember that.
Hey.
but don't take it because it's ours.
That's ours. Copyrighted by slaptailnation.com.
Or some other site that might have said that or heard that.
Did you say that? Who said that?
I
Of course he said it. Who else would have said it?
You can't even make that shit up. It's real.
Yeah.
It's organic.
If you sat down and tried to write if you sat down and actually tried to write funny shit, I don't think it would be funny.
It wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't happen. Maybe after we get him on some meds.
there we
He can
go.
focus. Get him on some meds and he can focus. He'll be all right. All right, well, that's it for me from the Beaveman. Saying adios, mooch fuckers. It's supposed to be mooch fuckos, but I thought I
Actually,
mixed it up
I
just
think
to
I
see
heard it
if
on
Ron
South
said
Park.
anything.
I think I heard it on South Park. So
Wow. Adios, mooch fuckos.
Deuces.
adios. Take care. Hey.
Why are you saying adios? What the fuck? Why the fuck are you saying adios? Why
What do you want me to say? Hey. That's it. Hey.
Just fucking yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just say it. Say it. See ya.
Okay.
Bye. You know, you want me to wave the camera so they can see my damn hand, which they can? Wow. Tremonti, have the last word in.
Black Lives Matter.
Well, why the fuck are you saying adios? Why the fuck? Why are you saying that?
Just because. It's
Didn't you
just
fucking say goodbye? Just say something. You already said, hey, what the fuck? Why you gotta say? Why do you say?
He
Oh,
wants to be a brown
marketing.
person too. Marketing.
Oh, yeah, I clearly I don't. That should be your like. Clearly, I don't understand marketing, bitches.
All right.
Marketing, bitches. Marketing cunts.
I would have gotten that.
That's
This is
a
going
new
to be
one. That's
another
what we're
one
going
for
with.
that. I like
That's
that.
gonna be a T-shirt also. Marketing cunts.
Well, there we go.
And if you're a cunt, and you're listening to this podcast. All right. Adios, bitch fuckos.
Bye.
Deuces.